Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Mysterious Fantasy. My martial soul is ancestral which, upon waking up, Jiang Chen realized that he had traveled to a fantasy world and became the son of the current Grand Tutor of the Great Qian Dynasty. However, due to his mother's humble status, he was only illegitimate and could not even compare to his concubine's son. Although he was the son of the Grand Tutor, he was unhappy and had a low status. However, just as Jiang Chen was in despair, he suddenly awakened his own martial soul. And what shocked Jiang Chen was that his awakened soul was actually the 12 ancestral witches of the primordial world. Awakening the martial soul of the Ancestor Wu Emperor Jiang, mastering the law of spatial speed, even at extreme speed, even the Heavenly Peng can only sigh at the dust. Awakening the Ancestral Witch Zhurong's martial soul, mastering the law of fire, a strand of chaotic divine fire can burn the vast world. Awakening the powerful martial soul of the Ancestral Witch, wielding the law of thunder, a chaotic divine thunder that can split open the chaotic universe. What? Are all 12 ancestral witches awakened? Embodied Pangu. The strongest saint. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Crossing the Mysterious World, New Books for Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Crossing the Mysterious World, New Books for Collection, all things are inferior, but martial arts are high. Opening his eyes, Jiang Chen's head was tingling, which was the reason for the influx of a large amount of information. After a long time, the tingling sensation finally disappeared, and Jiang Chen completely understood what had happened. Have I traveled? Jiang Chen is a bit confused, just because he likes to read fantasy novels, he has traveled through time. Do you want to exaggerate like this? And what made Jiang Chen even more confused was, this is a vast and boundless fantasy world, where everything is inferior except for martial arts, which is the most direct path to the pyramid. To become a warrior, one can be respected by others. If one rises step by step in the martial arts path, they will become stronger and hold higher positions, whether they are beggars or farmers. Even if you are a woman, as long as you become a warrior, you can enjoy different treatment. And through the memories in his mind, Jiang Chen knew that he was the son of Jiang Xuanji, the current Grand Tutor of the Great Qian Dynasty. It may sound domineering, but in reality, Jiang Chen is even more aware that his mother was a princess of the Dali dynasty and married Jiang Xuanji to become the fifth lady. However, later on, the Qian dynasty and the Dali dynasty went to war, and Jiang Xuanji led an army of 8 million to conquer the Dali dynasty. All the royal families of the Dali dynasty surrendered directly, but to the surprise of the world, Jiang Xuanji completely killed them all. Just because Jiang Xuanji is too fond of legal principles and lacks human relationships. This matter was also stopped by the Great Qian Emperor. Generally speaking, after the destruction of the country, the royal family can be left alive, which is considered a glimmer of hope. Even to demonstrate the grandeur of the Great Qian Dynasty, they will treat the royal family kindly, such as being confined in the palace and then letting them die of old age. But Jiang Xuanji was too ruthless, killing everything, even killing his own son. It is precisely because of this that Jiang Chen's mother, who committed suicide, wanted to keep Jiang Chen alive. Jiang Chen's mother committed suicide, and the imperial family of Qian directly intervened to protect Jiang Chen, because Qian Sheng had a wife who was also a princess of the Dali dynasty. She passed away due to illness, but left behind a son who was the 17th prince, 2 years younger than Jiang Chen, and could also be considered Jiang Chen's cousin. If Jiang Chen dies, then the 17th prince will also die. This behavior goes against humanity, so in the end, Jiang Chen survived. However, Jiang Chen was inherently inadequate, so even though things have been going on for so long, Jiang Chen has no status in the Jiang family. In addition, Jiang Chen is a commoner, and his mother is also from an enemy country, so Jiang Chen's status is extremely poor. In my memory, from Jiang Chen being sensible until now, I have only seen my biological father twice. One time was when my grandmother passed away. Although I was born out of wedlock, at least Jiang Chen is a grandson and must kowtow to be filial. The second time was 3 days ago. Jiang Chen's body was weak. In order to study martial arts diligently, after a tiring day, he took a cold shower and then directly injured his body. He had a fever for 3 days and 3 nights. Later, Jiang Xuanji came and just glanced at Jiang Chen, then left without saying a word. Jiang Chen remembers that scene very clearly, because it was the last glance of the original owner of this body. After seeing his own father, he immediately let go and died, and then Jiang Chen crossed over. Amazingly, as Jiang Chen crossed over, the illness in his body was directly healed. What a cruel father! Feeling everything in his mind, Jiang Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath. As a traveler, Jiang Chen naturally had no emotions towards his father in this world, but the scenes in his mind made him feel cold. My own son, although born out of wedlock, is not likely to have a fever or a cold. Let's just stand idly by, right? If there is no money, then it's easy to say. If there is no medicine, then it's easy to say. But what is the Jiang family? The Jiang family is the Grand Tutor's mansion of the Great Qian Dynasty. Not to mention some medicine for headaches and colds, even the elixir for prolonging life can be obtained by the Jiang family. However, Jiang Xuanji did not do that and instead chose to stand idly by. Jiang Chen felt that in the last scene, his father seemed to want him to die like this. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but tremble. It was not fear, but an inexplicable hatred. Although it was not his own father, this kind of thing made people angry just by listening, let alone Jiang Chen crossing over to a person with the same name and surname. And it is very likely that this is another self in a parallel world. How can Jiang Chen not be angry? But even in anger, Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh, because this is a world where everything is inferior but martial arts are high. In this world, if you become a warrior and possess force, then you can despise everything. No one dares to be unfair to you. Just like the Jiang family, the eldest son of the illegitimate, Jiang Peng, although born from the illegitimate, has extraordinary qualifications and is still a martial arts king with unparalleled status. His status is not inferior to that of his legitimate business trip, and wherever he goes, he is sought after by people. Even some princesses have developed admiration for Jiang Peng. This is the benefit of having strength. If Jiang Chen has strength, then he can have a position in the Jiang family. If his strength is strong enough, no one dares to underestimate him, whether he is an illegitimate or not. Even if one day, Jiang Chen is appointed as a marquis to pay homage to the prime minister, and his mother's spiritual plaque can be erected in the temple. This is supreme glory. But the prerequisite is to have strength. Unfortunately, Jiang Chen lacks strength, qualifications, and resources. Want to practice? Undoubtedly, it is a foolish dream. However, just as Jiang Chen thought of this, a thunderous sound suddenly exploded in his ears. Immediately after, Jiang Chen fainted on the spot. Chapter 2. Qiangliang Zuwu, New Book for Collection. You are listening at novel full.audio. Chapter 2. Qiangliang Zuwu, New Book for Collection. Opening his eyes, Jiang Chen found himself standing in chaos. Without heaven and earth, everything was chaos. In the chaos, there are 12 sculptures that are unknown in height, and at first glance, they seem to be billions of meters high. The first statue, with 6 legs and 4 wings, stands tall and upright. The second statue has a bird body and a human face, with 2 dragons on its feet. The third statue, with a beast head and a human body, and ears pierced by a fire dragon. The fourth statue, with a human face and a tiger body, with blades and wings. The fifth statue, with a python head and a human body, standing on a black dragon. The sixth statue, a ferocious beast, covered in bone spurs. The 7th statue has 7 hands behind it, holding a snake. The 8th statue, with a tiger head and a human body, has 4 hooves and feet. The 9th statue, with a human head and a dragon body, is completely red. The 10th statue has 8 human faces and 10 tiger tails. The 11th statue, with a human face and a bird body, holding a red hand. The 12th statue has a human face and a beast body, with ears resembling dogs and green snakes hanging from the ears. These 12 statues are too terrifying, emitting a towering aura that Jiang Chen feels can instantly kill Jiang Xuanji. Not to mention the overall momentum, just a little bit of momentum can instantly kill everything. What is this? Jiang Chen felt a bit familiar, but didn't know what it was. However, at this moment, suddenly, a thunderbolt of destruction sounded in his ears, followed by a beam of light that disappeared into Jiang Chen's mind. At the next moment, Jiang Chen was completely shocked and couldn't say a word. Because these 12 sculptures are their own martial souls. In the fantasy world, there are 3 shortcut paths for warriors, which are Chongshi, Constitution, and Martial Soul. The so-called rebirth refers to being a remarkable figure in one's previous life, reincarnated from a rebirth. This type of person is extraordinary, waiting for a certain age or enlightenment to obtain memories from the previous life and return to the peak. And physique is very easy to understand. Some people are born with divine powers, while others are born with weak and unbearable abilities, which is the reason for physique. In the fantasy world, the better the physique, the more suitable it is for practicing martial arts. After countless years of accumulation, the strong in the fantasy world have made a classification of physique. The 7 major constitutions are mortal body, spiritual body, Taoist body, royal body, holy body, imperial body, and immortal body. Later, they are further divided into 3 sub-grades. Lower, medium, and upper. Jiang Chen is a mortal body, and it is also a lower-level mortal body. Generally, ordinary people are average mortal bodies, but Jiang Chen is inherently lacking, so he cannot even be considered a medium mortal body. So Jiang Chen's cultivation was 10 times, 100 times, or even more slower than others. The speed of spiritual cultivation is dozens of times faster than that of mortal cultivation. As for Jiang Peng, the eldest son of the Jiang family, it is said that the cultivation speed is extremely fast. Not only is it the royal body, but it also condenses anomalies, which can be said to be extremely powerful. Finally, there is the martial soul. Only a very small number of people can awaken their martial soul. The so-called martial soul has nothing to do with the world or physical condition. So far, the world does not know what martial soul is related to, only that it exists. And the martial souls are different from each other. Some martial souls are humanoid, some are animal-like, and some are magical treasures. The martial soul is full of wonders. Having a martial soul at the same time does not necessarily mean that one can become stronger, because some martial souls are very weak, whether they exist or not, while others are extremely powerful. However, Jiang Chen's martial soul can completely be called the strongest martial soul. Because through the light just now, Jiang Chen clearly knew that his martial soul actually referred to the legendary 12 ancestors of the Xuanhuan. That's right, it's the 12 ancestors which of Pangu's essence and blood. Di Jiang, Zhu Mang, Zhurong, Zhu Shou, Gong Gong, Xian Ming, Ho Tu, Qiangliang, Zhu Jiuyin, Tian Wu, Shizi, Shibai. These 12 great gods of the wilderness, when assembled, can summon the invincible ox-man of Pangu's true form. 12 ancestor witch martial souls. How strong should this be? Not to mention anything else, in a mere fantasy world, I'm afraid of being invincible, right? To be honest, in the eyes of the great god of the wilderness, the fantasy world may not be as poor as the poorest place in the wilderness. Jiang Chen was excited. He doesn't even know what to say. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. A thunderous sound rang out, and Jiang Chen came to his senses. He knew that although he had the 12 Ancestral Witch soul, with his current level of strength, he could not withstand the arrival of the 12 Ancestral Witch. Once the true 12 Ancestral Witch soul awakened, Jiang Chen is bound to die, and neither his cultivation nor his spiritual strength can withstand the revival of the 12 Ancestor Witches together. At present, only one Ancestral Witch can be revived. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen didn't talk nonsense and chose to revive the Ancestral Witch directly. Boom boom. Boom boom. Boom boom. The statue of the 12 Ancestral Witches shook, giving off a feeling of chaos. The earth was filled with fire, thunder, and chaos. Jiang Chen stood under the statue of the 12 Ancestral Witches, completely stunned. The sight was too terrifying. Try to imagine how terrifying it would be for a billion zhang tall statue to stand tall and shake. Click. 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 At this moment, the 8th statue shattered, and billions of light burst out, emitting a terrifying aura. I am a strong and virtuous person, the ancestor of thunder. A roar sounded, which shook the heart and soul. If it were in the outside world, it could be heard by everyone in the entire fantasy world. This is Qiangliang, the ancestor of thunder, the ancestor of the chaotic god thunder. Jiang Chen awakened the first ancestral witch martial soul. The ancestor of thunder, Wu, is strong and virtuous. In the next moment, after recovery, Qiangliang shrank his figure by billions of times, eventually shrinking to a body of about 1 zhang, and then came to Jiang Chen. Chapter 3. Pangu Zhenju, New Book for Collection. You are listening at novel full.audio. Chapter 3. Pangu Zhenju, New Book for Collection. Qiangliang, the ancestor of thunder, holds a snake in his hand, with a tiger head and a human body. With 4 hooves and feet, he steps on thunder clouds, appearing extraordinary. Junior Jiang Chen, I have met Senior. Jiang Chen spoke up, and the person in front of him was the true ancestor of thunder, Wu Qiangliang. He was a great god of the wilderness, and Jiang Chen naturally had to show respect. No need to be polite. We are in a symbiotic state, you are me, and I am you. There's no need to be so polite. Qiangliang spoke, but he didn't appear too serious. On the contrary, his tone was very calm. At the same time, he turned back to look at the 11 statues behind him and couldn't help but sigh. Back in the Lich Wars, I thought we were already dead, but I never expected to be able to resurrect again. Although it was just reborn in another way, at least we are still alive. Qiangliang spoke up, and in his words, he mentioned the war between witches and demons back then. This topic was too high.End for Jiang Chen to talk about. You need to improve your strength so that I can meet them earlier. Quickly, Qiangliang spoke up and looked at the 11 ancestral witch statues behind him, his eyes filled with anticipation. The words of the great god Qiangliang are absolutely true, but I have some unspoken secrets. Jiang Chen spoke up, saying that since Qiangliang didn't pay much attention to seniority, he was no longer so cumbersome and directly referred to him as the Qiangliang great god. The unspeakable secret. You just say it directly. Qiangliang spoke up, he had some curiosity. At present, Jiang Chen is not talking nonsense and directly talks about his background in detail, including his current situation. However, Qiangliang is after all the 12 ancestors who has lived for countless thousands of years without any emotional fluctuations, so there is not much fluctuation. However, upon learning about Jiang Chen's situation, Qiangliang couldn't help but speak up. Your situation is indeed very difficult, but currently I am only in the form of a soul, and it is difficult for me to help you. If I have to say anything, I can only teach you my cultivation mind method, and at the same time, use Chaos God Thunder to cut hair and wash marrow for you once. Qiangliang spoke up, and his answer made Jiang Chen overjoyed. The method of Zuwu cultivation. Isn't this just a blast? And he also used Chaos Thunder to chop hair and wash marrow for himself once. Thank you very much, great god Qiangliang. Jiang Chen was overjoyed. No problem, helping you is helping me. Qiangliang, the great god, slowly spoke up and then emitted 2 beams of light, entering the sea of Jiang Chen's consciousness. He then spoke up and said, I will pass on 2 methods to you. The first method is the body refining method of my witch tribe, called the Pangu True Technique, and the second method is my self-created Supreme Thunder Technique. You can understand it well. At this point, Qiangliang couldn't help but continue speaking, I am using chaos thunder to chop your hair and wash your marrow. However, due to limited energy, I cannot truly achieve the degree of rebirth, but it can also solve your innate deficiency. Speaking of which, suddenly, a colorful divine thunder appeared in Qiangliang's hand. Then it exploded with a loud bang. At this moment, Jiang Chen, who was sleeping on the bed in the outside world, instantly shattered his physical body and directly transformed into dust. However, soon the colorful light condensed, the arc flickered, and a new physical body appeared. This is an extraordinary transformation, but in the eyes of the powerful god Qiangliang, it can only be considered as cutting hair and washing the marrow. In his mind, Jiang Chen was comprehending the Pangu True Technique and the Supreme Thunder Technique. Pangu True Technique, this is the strongest body refining technique in the world of the wilderness, and it is a mental technique that can only be practiced by ancestral witches. It is extremely domineering and powerful. The Pangu True Technique is divided into 5 levels of realms, each of which is further divided into 4 sub-levels. Initial, middle, later, and perfect. The first level corresponds to the realm of humans and immortals. The second level corresponds to the realm of Taishi. The third level corresponds to the golden immortal realm. The fourth level corresponds to the quasi-holy realm. The fifth level corresponds to the realm of saints. At present, what Jiang Chen has obtained is the complete mind technique of the first 3 layers, which is bestowed by the great god of Qiangliang. As for the Supreme Thunder Technique, it is the method of controlling lightning, and Qiangliang was worried that Jiang Chen would not know how to learn it, so he accidentally inserted a pure source of lightning law into it, causing Jiang Chen to instantly master the Supreme Thunder Technique, and his affinity with lightning was simply not too high. The Supreme Thunder Technique records various lightning-killing techniques, but the core point is to cultivate the power of thunder. The Supreme Thunder Technique has 5 different qualities of lightning. Heavenly Thunder, 9 Heavenly Immortal Thunder, Divine Thunder, and Chaos Divine Thunder. A Celestial Thunder can inflict heavy damage on immortals, while a 9 Celestial Thunder can directly slay the Taishi, let alone the lightning of later qualities. You should know that lightning not only targets the physical body, but also the primordial spirit. This is the power of the Supreme Thunder Technique. But to practice the Supreme Thunder Technique, one must have a strong physical body, which happened to give Jiang Chen the Pangu True Technique. In addition, Qiangliang's use of Chaos God Thunder to wash away the essence of Jiang Chen's life is like killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Jiang Chen, I need to rest for a while. The energy consumption is too high. Remember, if you want to awaken me, you must have a large amount of monster essence and blood. I have left a blood pool in your sea of consciousness. As long as this pool is fully collected, I can revive again and clean your hair and marrow. Next, it's up to you. You need to work hard. Qiangliang's voice gradually decreased, and then he transformed into a statue again, falling asleep. At the same time, Jiang Chen's primordial spirit also left this world and returned to the outside world. Chapter 4. Superior King's Body, Strength Boosts the New Book. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chapter 4. Superior King's Body, Strength Boosted, New Book Seeking Collection for Everything, Who? Returning to the outside world, Jiang Chen couldn't help but take big breaths. With each breath, a large amount of spiritual energy surged in, making him extremely comfortable. Superior Royal Body. In an instant, Jiang Chen noticed the change in his physical body. Even his breathing was a bit rough, but now, while breathing, all that seeps into his nose is spiritual energy, the purest spiritual energy. Only the royal body can filter the air and directly absorb spiritual energy, because in this way, breathing is being practiced. Jiang Chen was shocked. He thought that Qiangliang, the great god, would casually chop hair and wash marrow to make up for his innate shortcomings. However, he never expected that Qiangliang's so.called casualness would directly allow his own body to reach the superior royal body. King's body, there is no one in 10,000. Jiang Peng, the illegitimate eldest son of the Jiang family, became famous and loved by Jiang Xuanji because of his royal physique. He also became one of the top figures in the Jiang family, and his illegitimate son could not inherit his position, so Jiang Peng was extremely popular. He doesn't need to take his legitimate position, and those legitimate sons naturally went crazy to win him over. But now Jiang Chen also has a superior royal body, and it is still a superior royal body. Jiang Peng is just a lowly royal body, and most importantly, as long as he kills the demon beast and obtains a large amount of demon beast essence and blood, he can revive his strength and clean up his essence again. At that time, it was the real process of cutting hair and washing marrow. At this moment, under Jiang Chen's feet, it seemed as if a grand road had appeared. Taking a deep breath, Jiang Chen began to sit cross-legged and directly practice the Pangu True technique. This is the supreme body refining technique. Terrifying spiritual energy poured in from all directions, and Jiang Chen's dantian turned into a vortex of spiritual energy. Click, click, click. Jiang Chen's every bone, every muscle, and every piece of flesh is being tempered, and the process is both painful and extremely comfortable. He is constantly refining his body, and the first step of the Pangu True technique is to constantly refine it. 2 hours later, suddenly, the sound of dragons and tigers roaring came from within Jiang Chen's body, followed by a boom sound. Later, Jiang Chen withdrew from his cultivation, and the first time he practiced, the effect was excellent. He directly stepped onto the initial stage of I Chong. Although it was the initial stage, it was extremely powerful, with his flesh shining brightly and his muscles as strong as a rock. Just in the early stages and without a stable cultivation, Jiang Chen possessed a tremendous power of 3,600 pounds, because the Pangu True technique is a spiritual cultivation method of the Ancestor Witch, which is naturally extraordinary and invincible just from the starting point. According to the records of the True formula, the initial strength peak of I Chong is 10,800 kilograms of tremendous strength. The peak strength of the mid-year is 1.08 million pounds. The peak of the post-production power of I Chong is 108 million pounds of immense strength. The pinnacle of a perfect force is 108 billion pounds of immense strength. What is the concept of 108 billion pounds of tremendous strength? With a single punch, one can smash a towering mountain, and this is just a description of power. After the initial stage of the attack, one can gather mana. This is the terror of the true secret. In the fantasy world, not to mention practicing to 4 or 5 levels, as long as one level is perfected, one can become a king and ancestor, and even open up an unparalleled immortal kingdom. Because this is the first body refining technique in the wilderness. The method of ancestral witch cultivation can be practiced to the realm of saints, but of course, corresponding conditions are required. It is only theoretically possible to cultivate to the realm of saints. Jiang Chen practiced for 2 hours before reaching the initial stage of the first level, completely due to his physical condition. Currently, he has just started his cultivation, and to truly reach the peak of the initial stage, he needs a massive amount of spiritual energy. Bang bang. Bang bang. The next moment, Jiang Chen started punching in the room. This was the 5 birds fist technique, which was a very basic boxing technique. He was stretching his muscles and strengthening his body. Although the effect was weak, it was better than doing nothing. This set of fist techniques, Jiang Chen sometimes opens and closes wide, sometimes incredibly agile. Clever like an ape, dancing lightly like a crane, majestic like a tiger, powerful like a bear, and extremely fast like a deer. A simple set of 5 bird's fist techniques, in Jiang Chen's hands, was simply dazzling. This is the benefit of physical body and strength. With strength, when punching, a tiger is full of power, and every punch has terrifying power. Having a physical body, using fist techniques, is incredibly agile and enhances power, with agility and ferocity. It can be said that Jiang Chen today is completely transformed and earth-shattering. Although he has not practiced in these 16 years, he has made up for it all today. Whether it's the foundation or anything, Jiang Chen is better than 99% of people. Even the Jiang family, apart from their legitimate sons and Jiang Peng, has no one who can surpass Jiang Chen. Moreover, over time, Jiang Chen can go further. If he reaches the peak in the early stages, he can go alone to the monster forest to hunt and kill the monsters. In the fantasy world, the first realm is called the body realm. The body is perfect, and some arrogant beings can possess 1,000 pounds of tremendous power, such as Jiang Peng. But now, just by stepping into cultivation, I have already possessed 3,600 pounds of tremendous power. It doesn't take too long to stabilize my cultivation and master 10,800 pounds of tremendous power. The future of me is different from before. Jiang Chen secretly thought to himself that comparing himself with Jiang Peng was not because his vision was too narrow, but because he could only compare himself with Jiang Peng at the moment. Bang! Just as Jiang Chen was pondering, suddenly, the door was forcefully pushed open, making a loud bang. Chapter 5. Shuge Martial Arts, a new book seeking collection. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chapter 5. Shuge Martial Arts, a new book seeking collection. The door was pushed open directly, and soon a servant walked in. This was a servant of the Grand Tutor's mansion, but even the servants were dressed in top-quality materials, not some linen clothes. After all, this was the current Grand Tutor's mansion. Jiang Chen, it's time for dinner. The servant's voice rang out, and he held a bowl of rice in his hand. The rice was coarse. This kind of coarse rice was exactly the same as what the servant ate. It was not even as good as some favored servants. In the fantasy world, eating is extremely important. Whether you eat well or not can affect the early stage of cultivation. If you eat only coarse rice, a large amount of toxins and impurities will accumulate in your body, and over time, your cultivation will be slower than others. If you eat high-quality food, the impurities and toxins in your body will be reduced. And the warriors in the Taishi mansion all eat lingmi, which not only has no toxins or impurities in their bodies, but also enhances their strength. However, lingmi is precious and can only be consumed by core disciples of the Jiang family. Jiang Chen was originally qualified, with a monthly salary of 20 pounds of lingmi, because Jiang Chen is a commoner and is also the son of Jiang Xuanji no matter what. However, Jiang Chen never received lingmi because all of his salary was deducted. Jiang Xuanji wouldn't care about a commoner. If he cared about Jiang Chen, how could he possibly take advantage of Jiang Chen's mother's entire family? Not letting go of one. If you care, how could Jiang Chen be seriously ill without any concern? At first, the original owner of this body believed that Jiang Xuanji was indifferent to him because he wanted to protect him, but it wasn't until his death that the original owner knew that Jiang Xuanji truly didn't care about himself. To Jiang Xuanji, whether to die or not means nothing. It was precisely because of Jiang Xuanji's indifference, coupled with Jiang Chen's identity, that over the years, some servants also showed disrespect to Jiang Chen. Of course, the most important thing is strength. Jiang Chen's body is extremely weak, not to mention boxing. Even if he walks outside for a few hours, he will be exhausted and panting, so anyone can bully him. This also led to the person in front of them kicking the door open and then casually throwing their rice bowls on the table, without any appearance of servants. Jiang Chen looked at everything coldly. He didn't choose to take action. In fact, he could completely slap this servant to death. It's just that Jiang Chen doesn't want to do this because he knows that just one servant is nothing, but there are other forces behind this servant, and the relationships within the Taishi mansion are complex. Although I am just a small servant, I dare not be so reckless without any background. Jiang Chen doesn't want to expose his strength. After all, suddenly becoming stronger will definitely arouse suspicion from others. So we must come up with a very good reason, and Jiang Chen has already thought of it, which is to go out and search for treasures and return. In the fantasy world, there are many unknown places and treasures everywhere, such as the Double Dragon Holy Mountain, which is 6,000 miles away. It is rumored that there are treasures of the dragon tribe there. Jiang Chen has come up with a reason, so he must hold back for a moment now. When his strength improves, he can go to Xuanhuan Holy Mountain and stay there for a while before returning. When he shows his strength, no one will say much. Even if someone suspects, what then? Is it hard to say, is it wrong to become stronger? Even if Jiang Xuanji is indifferent to himself, it is absolutely impossible to punish him, because Jiang Xuanji has a complete collection of military aircraft, rewards and punishments Gongming, and treats his clan members very harshly. Therefore, Jiang Chen is determined to go to Xuanhuan Holy Mountain. And to go to Xuanhuan Holy Mountain, there is another thing, which is to cultivate Qiangliang. It not only requires a large amount of spiritual energy, but also a large amount of monster essence and blood to awaken strong virtues and truly cleanse oneself. With this in mind, Jiang Chen didn't have to talk nonsense and went directly to the book pavilion of the Grand Tutor's mansion, which is not the scripture pavilion of the Grand Tutor's mansion. As the Grand Tutor's mansion, many direct and collateral disciples of the Jiang family are practicing in the Grand Tutor's mansion. So naturally there are things like the Sutra Pavilion. Jiang Chen didn't pay much attention when he came to the book pavilion, because the original owner would also go to the book pavilion to collect books and practice, so no one would find it strange. The reason for going to the book pavilion is that Jiang Chen wants to learn a few martial arts supernatural powers to help him. Qiangliang is a martial art technique, and although the Supreme Thunder technique records many techniques, the vast majority still require a mid-level one to truly unleash. Because the corresponding realm of Xuanglang's one-level medium stage is the divine power secret realm in the fantasy world, the first realm is called the body secret realm, which is the realm of a powerful body. The second secret realm is called the divine power secret realm. No matter how strong the body is, it is still immortal. Even if it reaches 10,000 pounds, it is still immortal. And in the realm of divine powers, one can fly to the sky and escape to the earth, spit out water and fire, wield magical tools, and kill invisibly from 10 miles away. This is the strength of divine powers. At the same time, Jiang Chen discovered that the first level of the Pangu true technique corresponds precisely to the four major realms of the fantasy world. Body secret realm, divine power secret realm, giant secret realm, and eternal life secret realm. The four levels of secret realm correspond exactly to the early, middle, late, and peak stages of the first level of Pangu true technique. It can be seen from this that the power and terror of Pangu's true formula. Quickly, Jiang Chen selected 3 secret books in the book pavilion and left. First-class martial arts Dragon Elephant Fist, 7-star steps in first-class martial arts Yi Pin Wu Shui Yuan Ji. These are the 3 martial arts chosen by Jiang Chen, all of which are first-grade martial arts evolved from divine powers. These martial arts are kept outside, and it is unknown how many people will break their heads. Even disciples of the Jiang family who want to read them need to spend some contribution points. But after all, Jiang Chen is the son of Jiang Xuanji. Although he is an illegitimate son, he also has the right to rent reading directly without spending any contribution. After obtaining 3 martial arts secret books, Jiang Chen returned to his residence and began practicing. Chapter 6. Dragon Elephant Mahayana, New Book for Collection. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chapter 6. Dragon Elephant Mahayana, New Book for Collection. Dragon Elephant Fist is a boxing technique evolved from the divine power of dragons and elephants. Once used, it opens and closes with unparalleled power. The 7-star step is a step evolved from the shaking light star step, which is in line with the divine will of the stars. When used, it is incredibly ghostly and has a clever plan. Yuan refers to the finger technique evolved from Tianyuan, which concentrates all body strength, with one finger cutting off the river and the other pointing to the sky. The 3 martial arts selected by Jiang Chen are all first-class martial arts. Not to mention the 3, even mastering one is already considered very good. Especially the Dragon Elephant Fist, which has a wide opening and closing, a momentum like a dragon, and a fist seal like an elephant, is extremely fierce, making it the top martial arts in the Grand Master's mansion. Basically, direct disciples of the Jiang family have to practice Dragon Elephant Fist, which is one of the best martial arts in the physical realm, and almost none of them. In the room, Jiang Chen carefully read these 3 martial arts books. One day and one night later, Jiang Chen closed the books and returned them to the book pavilion, borrowing a few more books at will. He didn't want to be discovered for heresy, so he returned it immediately. Perhaps someone will secretly observe themselves, but renting 3 books and 1-level martial arts, and then returning them immediately, who would believe that they learned it overnight? After returning it, Jiang Chen began to study martial arts diligently. Although he possessed the Pangu true technique, he did not have the corresponding martial arts skills, so he naturally had to learn moves. The Supreme Thunder technique can only be mastered in the middle of the first level, so practicing martial arts in the physical realm is the best choice. Bang 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 bang. At present, there is no one around, and Jiang Chen is showing off his skills in the room. Dragon Elephant Fist is a first-class martial art that evolved from the divine power of dragons and elephants. If it is a divine power, it will gather the power of 10 ancient heavenly dragons and 10 ancient barbarian elephants. However, this is only a martial art that can gather the power of 10 dragons and 10 elephants, which can enhance Jiang Chen's combat power by twice. It is precisely because of this that Dragon Elephant art is classified as a first-class martial arts, and is the highest martial arts in the Grand Tutor's mansion. Basically, direct disciples with some ability can practice Dragon Elephant art, and even classify their cultivation qualifications based on Dragon Elephant art at one point. Jiang Chen practices the Dragon Elephant Fist seal. Dragon Fist is domineering, with a steady imprint. When Jiang Chen uses his martial arts, it feels like a dragon and an elephant are emerging behind him, and each punch seems to have the meaning of dragon singing and elephant roaring. Without any nonsense, Jiang Chen stepped on the 7-star step and used this set of Dragon Elephant Fists to express his true meaning in the narrow room. Roar. Moo. The sound of dragons and elephants sounded, and Jiang Chen felt comfortable all over. Practicing martial arts not only enhances oneself, but also gradually strengthens the body. This kind of strength is not transformation, but a sublimation, giving muscles and bones of fighting memory. This martial arts is indeed profound. With its grand opening and closing, coupled with the 7-star step, if encountering an enemy, I can stand invincible from birth. Moreover, if it is difficult to defeat the enemy, I can also master the 1 yuan finger, concentrate all my strength, and cut off the river with 1 finger. Jiang Chen secretly thought in his heart. For the following month, Jiang Chen diligently studied the Dragon Elephant Fist 7-star steps and 1 yuan finger, without going outside the yard to practice. Because Jiang Chen knew that although he was so miserable, there were still many people in his family who were paying attention to him. This was a deep mansion with hundreds of people, and they just calculated with each other on weekdays. This is a wealthy family, so Jiang Chen is hiding in his room to practice. If there are people outside, Jiang Chen will lie directly in bed. In this month, Jiang Chen directly cultivated all 3 martial arts to Mahayana. That's right, it's about practicing to the Mahayana. Ordinary disciples need to practice hard for decades, and it may be difficult for them to reach Mahayana. Even the Tianjiao of the Jiang family takes 3 to 5 years to reach Mahayana, even for royal disciples, it takes several years. However, Jiang Chen only spent a month directly cultivating his martial arts skills to Mahayana. The main focus is on the TOEFL Pan Gu Zhen Ju and Dragon Elephant Fist techniques, which require strong personal strength and physique. The Pan Gu Zhen Ju allows Jiang Chen's strength and physique to surpass everyone. For a month, Jiang Chen diligently studied and practiced, not only in martial arts, but also in Pangu Zhen Ju. Now he has completely stabilized his cultivation. In the early stage of Yizhong, it was almost full and had a terrifying 7,200 pounds of power. With just a slight step forward, it could have a tremendous power of 10,800 pounds. Think about it, the Jiang family's genius body secret realm is full, but it only weighs 1,000 pounds. Jiang Chen has already gained 7,200 pounds in the early stages of his transformation, which is a strong foundation. And this is just an early stage. If placed in the world of chaos, not even an ant can be considered, and even through the transmission of the powerful teachings, Jiang Chen knows. Although Pangu Zhen Ju is the most valuable body refining technique in the world of the wilderness, it is full of energy to cultivate one level of Dianfeng. In the world of the wilderness, it is also an ant, and true strength can only be achieved through 3 levels. Of course, that was in the world of famine. The world that Jiang Chen lived in was just a small fantasy world, perhaps not even comparable to the wasteland. Don't say double or triple, one can at least rank among the strongest. Unfortunately, the spiritual energy is insufficient. This is not a wasteland world. Even if Jiang Chen is a king, his cultivation is very slow. The energy required for the Pangu true technique is too terrifying. Just relying on meditation to achieve perfection is undoubtedly a pipe dream. So, we need to go out. You must go out. Leave the Grand Tutor's mansion. Jiang Chen thought so. However, at this moment. Bang! A loud bang. The door was kicked open. Is anyone watching? You are listening at novel full.audio. Is anyone watching? New book kneels down for everything. 100 fresh flowers and 1 watch. 100 review tickets plus 1 update. 10 comments plus 1 update. 1 reward and 1 watch. Kneel down and beg for everything. Chapter 7. Are you subduing the law? New book for collection. You are listening at novel full.audio. The door was kicked open, and Jiang Chen was not surprised at all because he had already noticed someone coming, and there were a large number of people, a total of 4. Jiang Chen. I didn't expect you to pour your food into the ditch during this period of time. What do you mean? Are you trying to go on a hunger strike and rebel? The door was kicked open, and a powerful servant walked in. He spoke fiercely and fiercely. Those who didn't know thought he was the master. Standing in the room, Jiang Chen glanced at these 4 people, especially the man in charge. This person was a relative of the butler and came to the Taishi mansion to work as a servant. The so-called servant was just a bit nice, but in fact, he was just a servant. And Jiang Chen also knew that this was under the command of the 5th lady of the Jiang family. This 5th lady was a ruthless character, and over the years, all of Jiang Chen's salary was not swallowed up by the 5th lady, but also by her subordinates. Jiang Chen believed that this 5th lady absolutely knew and believed that she didn't care about this meager salary, but she turned a blind eye to this matter. In other words, it was an indirect suppression. At this moment, these servants rushed in, probably realizing that they had been pouring food into the ditch during this period, mistakenly thinking that they wanted to protest something through hunger strike. It's just that the food doesn't match my appetite, there's no intention of going on a hunger strike, and I've eaten some before. Jiang Chen calmly answered. Humph. Have you eaten some? Your body is weak. You were seriously ill before, but now you're not eating or drinking. Are you trying to rebel? The servant spoke coldly and didn't believe what Jiang Chen said. However, at this moment, a hint of coldness finally appeared in Jiang Chen's calm gaze. They are slaves, they themselves are masters. Although they cannot be favored, they are also masters. However, the other party is arrogant and domineering. Jiang Chen's concession is not afraid, but he does not want to provoke trouble. As expected, people are good at being bullied, and horses are good at being ridden. No matter where they are, this is the truth. What do you mean by this expression? Are you still dissatisfied? The leading servant took out a long whip and roared angrily, seeing the coldness in Jiang Chen's eyes. A bunch of scumbags. Jiang Chen coldly said 4 words and then kicked him over. He didn't use all his strength, otherwise, just this kick would be enough to kick him to death, he wouldn't kill anyone. Still that sentence, it's not that I'm afraid, but that I don't want others to grab the point. However, even so, with this kick, the leading domestic servant was kicked 4 or 5 meters away, with all the bones in his chest shattered. You! How dare you commit violence? This! The other servants couldn't help but roar one after another, but their eyes were filled with fear. Remember to me, even if Jiang Chen is unbearable, he is still Jiang Xuanji's son and your master. You have repeatedly troubled me, deducted my salary, and dared to take the initiative to cause trouble. Today, I want to let you know what heaven and earth are thick means. Jiang Chen's words were just words, and then he kicked these 3 people away without any fancy moves, causing them all a heavy blow. After finishing all of this, Jiang Chen closed the door directly and took the 4 treasures of the study. Although he was not favored, at least reading and writing were still essential. Taking the 4 treasures of the study, Jiang Chen wrote directly. Since he had beaten someone, Jiang Chen had already made up his mind. He wanted to leave the Taishi mansion and go to Xuanhuan mountain to experience before returning. Otherwise, he would stay here and fight with some servants or the Taishi lady every day. What is the significance of this? A good man aspires to all directions, and Jiang Chen naturally has ambitions, especially having the 12 ancestors which. Why is he afraid of it? Now that the southern demons are dancing wildly, Jiang Xuanji went to the imperial capital to discuss. If he is not here for a while, Jiang Chen will leave a letter and then leave directly. In this way, no one will say anything. Just not long after, suddenly, another sound sounded outside. Jiang Chen. You're so brave. With a thunderous voice, Jiang Chen, who had already finished writing the letter, slowly lifted his head and knew who was coming. Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping is a collateral disciple of the Jiang family, but not the son of Jiang Xuanji. He is a descendant of Aunt Jiang Chen and a collateral disciple of the Jiang family. However, he is also considered outstanding in the Jiang family, so he was given the courtesy name Jiang. However, Jiang Ping is a subordinate of Madame Wu, so it is obvious that this is seeking revenge. Bang! The door was kicked open again, but this time it was even more terrifying as it burst open. Outside the door, Jiang Ping was filled with anger, followed by a dozen or so armed servants with cold faces. This situation made Jiang Chen want to laugh. As the son of Jiang Xuanji, he seemed like a thief. What are you doing? Organizing the letter, Jiang Chen spoke indifferently. He originally planned to stay at the Jiang family for a while before leaving, but as he had already taken action to teach those servants a lesson, Jiang Chen made up his mind to leave, so he acted recklessly. Of course, this unbridled premise is that one has reason. Jiang Chen knows Jiang Xuanji's personality. He is the current Grand Tutor and the Crown Prince's teacher. In other words, the future is the teacher of the world, so he cherishes his feathers and cares very much about his reputation. Therefore, he is extremely meticulous in his actions. If Jiang Chen was at fault first, he would definitely be punished severely, but if he was not at fault, Jiang Xuanji would definitely not be particularly biased. This has nothing to do with whether it's his son or not, it's the same for anyone. Jiang Chen, although you are the illegitimate son of the clan leader, you are indiscriminate in beating servants. According to the clan rules, you do not treat evil as minor. Your heart is malicious and your methods are cruel. Today, I will execute the family law. Will you follow the law or not? Jiang Ping roared loudly, word by word, speaking with a resounding and powerful tone. Chapter 8. Leaving the Taishi Mansion, New Book for Collection. You are listening at novel full.audio. Jiang Ping is very clever. He immediately reversed right from wrong and was charged with a crime. During the Qian Dynasty, the rule of law was advocated by Jiang Xuanji, and this method of governing the world achieved excellent results because it was the most just way of governing the world. Jiang Xuanji once said, the emperor committed the same crime as the common people, making him the first person in the legalist school. As a result, he gained a noble and righteous spirit, became the current Grand Tutor, and was also revered by countless Confucian scholars. At the same time, the rule of law of the Qian Dynasty led other dynasties to follow suit, and the Holy Land of the world believed that this method of governance was feasible, so they all secretly imitated it. Not to mention the Jiang family. In the Jiang family, everything needs to have a reason. Whoever makes sense is right. Even if sometimes servants make sense, the master must listen. Of course, generally speaking, servants are not qualified to reason because the vast majority of servants have signed contracts of sale. It's a lowly person, not in the legal system, so naturally there are no human rights. As soon as Jiang Ping comes up, he puts on his hat. If Jiang Chen can't answer anything, then he can only accept the punishment. I poured the food into the ditch, and the servant came to me in a fierce manner, speaking arrogantly and with a domineering attitude. It was an evil slave who bullied the master. Even if I hurt them, even if I killed them, whether it was according to the laws of the Great Qian or the rules of the Jiang family, they would not be able to find me in trouble. Jiang Chen slowly spoke up and then looked at Jiang Ping, saying, and you Jiang Ping, you are a collateral disciple, and I am a direct disciple. Although you are a few years older than me, you still have to bow to me. When you see me not being polite, you don't investigate things seriously, and you don't distinguish between red and white, and you pour dirty water on me. What do you mean? Moreover, Jiang Ping, you should know that although I am an illegitimate son, I am also the son of Jiang Xuanji and a direct descendant of the Jiang family. Whether or not I have made a mistake, this matter should be handled by the Internal Affairs Pavilion. According to the Jiang family's rules, any mistake made by a direct descendant must be handled by the Internal Affairs Pavilion or the royal family. If you come to trouble me with such force, you are exceeding your authority. Jiang Ping. Jiang Chen spoke with every word and thought clearly. In the end, he let out a loud roar and looked at Jiang Ping angrily, saying, first, you listen to the slander of the servants. If you don't understand what's going on, it's foolish. Then, you label yourself recklessly, it's illegal. Finally, you want to exceed your authority. These three crimes, I ask you, do you fall under the law? Hiss. Dozens of servants behind Jiang Ping were all stunned, because Jiang Chen seemed to be completely transformed. His words were powerful and imposing, making people involuntarily feel fearful. Jiang Ping was intimidated not because of one word, but because of Jiang Chen's imposing demeanor. The strong carry a strong aura, which is not only brought by the physical body, but also by the spirit. You. Stop talking nonsense. Jiang Ping was intimidated. He just heard that several of his subordinates had been injured by Jiang Chen. At first, he was surprised, but then someone asked him to come and explore Jiang Chen's situation. He never expected that Jiang Chen would be so fierce. Treat others in their own way. Pop. Jiang Chen slapped Jiang Ping on the face. Although he looked like a Confucian scholar, he had an indescribable aura. Jiang Ping. Kneel down for me. After being slapped, Jiang Ping was completely stunned. Then, hearing Jiang Chen's voice, for some reason, Jiang Ping felt extremely scared and even knelt down. In fact, Jiang Chen used the dragon elephant fist technique, with a momentum similar to that of a dragon elephant, to suppress Jiang Ping. Get out of here, if you dare to trouble me again, don't blame me for being ruthless. As soon as these words were spoken, all the servants lowered their heads, trembling and not daring to trouble Jiang Chen. Although Jiang Ping was full of anger, he dared not shout under Jiang Chen's aura and walked away with everyone in a gloomy manner. Ho men have many grievances and grievances. Watching everyone leave, Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh. It's not luck, nor joy, but a sense of helplessness. He doesn't want to be involved in this kind of right and wrong because he has aspirations in all directions. Nowadays, he possesses the soul of the 12 Ancestral Witches, just like a Xuanhuan. As long as he spreads his wings, he can sway for 90,000 miles. But is it interesting to argue with these people in a small Taishi mansion? Just like a Xuanhuan about to spread its wings, going into the mud and fighting with a few loaches is an insult. Leave the Grand Tutor's mansion. Jiang Chen left a letter, but he didn't pack his luggage and walked out of the room. Previously, he had considered whether to wait or not, but now he has made up his mind to leave the Taishi mansion. After half a pillar of incense, Jiang Chen arrived at the entrance of the Taishi mansion. The gate is extremely grand. This is the Taishi mansion, covering an area of 10,000 acres, like a small palace. Therefore, Jiang Chen needs half a pillar of incense to walk from inside to outside. This is because he has a good memory, and some servants with poor memory have been unable to distinguish their positions for 6 months. Who? Taking a deep breath, Jiang Chen inexplicably felt a sense of relaxation. For 18 years, a full 18 years, the original owner had not taken a step out of the Taishi mansion. Eating, drinking, and urinating are all in the Taishi mansion, without anyone to manage, care about, or feel sorry for. Now that I am about to leave the Grand Preceptor's mansion, I naturally feel a sense of relaxation. Ting ting ting. At this moment, waves of footsteps rang out. At this moment, Jiang Chen's face completely showed anger. It's true anger. Because he felt that this momentum was coming towards him. Chapter 9. Have you committed a capital crime? New book. You are listening at novel full.audio. This time the number of people is higher than before, and the people who come are no longer useless like Jiang Ping. Jiang Ping's cultivation level is 10 times that of a physical body, but the most ordinary 10 times that of a physical body warrior. However, there are now 3 strong ones who have 10 times that of a physical body, and their actual strength is several times higher than Jiang Ping. They also have 1/2 step divine ability and 1 divine ability strong person. The physical body can be understood as a powerful warrior, capable of smashing a giant rock with just 1 punch. Divine powers are the existence of heaven and humanity, capable of grabbing their own hair and lifting it up, spitting water and fire out of their mouths, and killing invisibly from thousands of miles away. This is the divine power. It is not surprising that there are powerful divine beings in the Taishi mansion. If there were none, it would be rare. However, in order to deal with a commoner who no one cared about, Jiang Chen was surprised to have invited a powerful divine being. At the same time as being surprised, there is more anger, a genuine anger from the heart. Jiang Chen knew that although he was a commoner, he was still a thorn in the eye and a thorn in the flesh of many people, because Jiang Xuanji had a total of 7 wives, 2 of whom had already died. One was Jiang Chen's mother, and the other had passed away in his early years, but gave birth to a son, a baby girl. Like Jiang Chen, he lost his mother at a young age and was also born out of wedlock, so his relationship with Jiang Yu was excellent. However, 5 years ago, Jiang Yu left the Jiang family and is said to have studied at the Holy Land of Yaoqi. His future is limitless. In the past 5 years, I haven't even received any letters and gradually forgot about them. After all, emotions are something that no one naturally remembers over time. The remaining 5 ladies, the first lady is the main office after all, and is a sister to the current queen. Naturally, she is the overlord of the Jiang family and works steadily. The other 4 ladies are different. They are in charge of the business or internal affairs of the Jiang family respectively. And the 4th wife, Wang, was responsible for the internal affairs of the Jiang family, but she was extremely disgusted with Jiang Chen because Jiang Chen's mother had fought with Wang, causing Wang to suffer. However, after Jiang Chen's mother passed away, she put all her hatred on Jiang Chen. Over the years, due to insufficient food and clothing, and even serious illness, the delivery of medicine by the Ministry of Internal Affairs has been delayed for 3 days. If it were 3 days earlier, although it was still uncomfortable, it would definitely not have died of illness. A minor illness would have turned into a serious illness, leading to this situation. Now it seems that the fourth lady ordered it. Jiang Chen. You are so audacious. You mistreat servants, bully relatives, violate several family rules, and even want to escape without permission. Someone, take him down and deal with him directly according to family law. The thunderous sound sounded, and this time it was a direct disciple of the Jiang family who appeared. He is a man in his early 20s, the second son of the fourth lady, named Qiangliang. It has to be said that this fourth lady is capable and has given birth to 4 sons in a row, each one becoming more and more outstanding. Named Jiang Hu, Jiang Lang, Jiang Ji, and Jiang Shi, it symbolizes the teacher of tigers and wolves. At the age of only 25, Jiang Lang is already a half-step master cultivator, and can be considered outstanding. His 2 younger brothers are even more remarkable. Jiang's divine realm is perfect, and the most powerful is Jiang Shi, who studied under Longhu Mountain. It is said that he has the talent of a new generation of heavenly masters. So the Wang family was able to rely on their son's wealth and wield great power in internal affairs. Jiang Lang appears on the stage, unlike Jiang Ping, who has to talk to Jiang Chen about something. He just plays directly, which is to deal with the family law. At this moment, dozens of guards from the Ministry of Internal Affairs rushed over. These guards were not servants, but guards from the Jiang family. Each one had 10 levels of physical cultivation, each surpassing Jiang Ping. If placed outside, they would start as 1,000 heads of household, but in the Taishi mansion, they were just guards. Roar. There is no nonsense. Since the situation has reached this point, Jiang Chen is not afraid at all. He has no hidden strength and punched out, and in an instant, the sound of dragon chants sounded. The dragon elephant fist opened and closed wide, and Jiang Chen's momentum was fierce. The dozens of internal affairs experts who rushed forward were all knocked away by Jiang Chen in one face, and everything happened very quickly. The 10 guards at the entrance of the Jiang family stared wide, and Jiang Lang, Jiang Ping, and others also showed an incredulous expression. Dragon Elephant Fist. Surprisingly learned Dragon Elephant Fist. Jiang Lang was shocked, and Jiang Ping was even more shocked than Jiang Lang. Dragon Elephant Fist is almost the strongest martial art in the Grand Master's mansion. Apart from Dragon Claw Fist, it can be called the #1 Dragon Elephant Fist. Dragon Claw Fist is terrifying and the strongest martial art. However, Dragon Elephant Fist is not only a boxing technique, but also a skill for training. If one can master the Mahayana of Dragon Elephant Fist, it is naturally better than Dragon Claw Fist Mahayana. So all outstanding disciples of the Jiang family will practice Dragon Elephant Fist, based on it. Jiang Ping also tried to learn Dragon Elephant Fist, but it was difficult to achieve Mahayana, and only the form lacked the true meaning of Dragon Elephant, so he eventually gave up. Unexpectedly, Jiang Chen learned the Dragon Elephant Fist, and just now, with a face that was as imposing as a dragon and a fist seal that resembled an elephant, it opened and closed wide, extremely fierce. With one face, it knocked dozens of physically heavy warriors away. This kind of strength is definitely not weaker than Jiang Lang. It can be said that with this skill, Jiang Chen can definitely rank in the top 100 in the Jiang family. How can this not shock and make Jiang Ping jealous? Isn't it said that Jiang Chen is a waste? How could that be? Jiang Lang frowned and was somewhat surprised, but he didn't care about Jiang Chen's strength because he could do it too. It's just a surprise that Jiang Chen suddenly became so powerful. Good means, I didn't expect young Master Jiang Chen to have been hiding his light and recuperating himself. He's really impressive. At this moment, the middle-aged man standing behind Qiangliang couldn't help but speak up. He was the steward of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Li Chen, a person with supernatural powers. He exclaimed at Jiang Chen's strength because he knew he was an extremely weak young man with innate shortcomings. However, Jiang Chen's performance today surprised him. But the next moment, Jiang Chen's cold gaze met Li Chen. Li Chen. Do you know that you have committed a capital crime? Jiang Chen's gaze was cold as he looked at Li Chen and shouted loudly. When these words were spoken, the whole audience couldn't help but be surprised.